from the perspective of what I've seen and been through, as well as Precious. So, you know, everybody has different perspectives and opinions. So, let us know. Alright, man, make sure y'all comment when y'all join, because I can't see these names from how far away my phone is. Somebody said, "What's up, little sis?" Cornelia Irene Clemens.
Hi, Cornelia. We go to the front.
I need contacts or something. I can't see. I'm really trying to squint. Okay. What up, everybody? It's your boy, Kenny, Chosin, Matt, with the amazing Precious right here next to me.
MS.P.
MS.P. and Chosin. Don't forget that. MS.P. and Chosin. So we got Love Waits Chronicles and Pursuit with Purpose. And we're here to give our perspective on what we see as far as dating goes, single life goes in the 21st century, how it lines up with the will of God. From my perspective, I'll be talking about, you know, when a man is pursuing a woman, what are the things he should be looking for? And what are the traits he should be exhibiting? You know, and Ms. P, do you want to talk about your side?
Yeah. So from my point of view, it would be being that woman that is worthy of the men that you're looking for. One, in your single season, making sure that you are not just standing still, but actually doing something and bettering yourself. And then three, what does that man look like that should be pursuing you? Because not every man should be getting your time and your attention. So we're doing dating versus courting, and what's the difference?
What is
and how does it look in the 21st century?
And fellas, don't worry, I'm gonna be standing up for us, because sometimes what women be wanting from us ain't quite right. They want us to be Superman. That ain't cool. Like, you know, we got feelings and emotions too, right? Like, we feel things, we get weak at times, we get vulnerable, you know what I'm saying? So certain things that we need out of the relationship, even though we're pursuing in this courtship, there's certain things that we need to see, certain things that we need from that time period to know if she's the one or not. So don't worry, this ain't gonna be all about just what the women want and making sure they get what they want. It's about our side of it too, Miss P.
Really. But more importantly, for the women I'll be representing, because we don't want dudes that looking for another mother. That's not what we here for. We're not here to be somebody's mama, somebody's maid. You know, we bring the table. We don't bring nothing to the table. We bring the table.
Did you say more importantly?
Yes. Yes. Because it states, you know, a man that finds a wife finds a good thing.
And obtains favor from the Lord. Yes, we know.
So we should not be chasing no man, because at the end of the day, we're the prize.
Y'all are
and the prize don't chase the winner.
Ooh. Well, I mean, technically, if you really want to look at it from a realistic perspective, the prize and the winner gravitate towards each other. It's necessarily one chasing the other, or the other chasing that one. They gravitate together. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I want to kick the myth that, you know, when you get out on social media and you see women talking all the time about men are dogs, men ain't this, men ain't that, men ain't this, men ain't, like, that's all you see, like, all up and down my timeline. It's like every other status is about what men aren't and what they aren't doing. And I want to say this right here, right now. Every good man watching this or looking at this later is going to hit the like, love button on this 1,000 times. A lot of you ladies, not saying you.
I know.
I mean, don't do that, though. But a lot of you ladies, a lot of y'all that's watching right now, say y'all want a good man that knows how to open up and express himself and this and that and this and that. And then when it falls in your lap, because it's not exciting enough, because it's not the drama that you're used to being kicked off your way and all of that stuff, you get bored with it and end up falling right back into the trap of being with the reckless dude who really ain't about nothing, and then claiming all dudes ain't nothing when you get hurt again.
So let's put clarification
What
to
up,
that. Far as with the whole women be saying men ain't this, men ain't that.
Mm-hmm.
So you pick these men.
They did.
So therefore, it ain't all men. It's the men that you gravitate to. And you more than likely you gravitating to that person. Why? Because something is broken in you that has not been fixed or that you have not allowed to heal.
You hear that, ladies?
So when you know your worth, again, you won't just let anybody be in your space.
Very true.
We as women, we have the choice to pick who we entertain and who we don't entertain. And what gets a lot of women is they entertain dudes out of their loneliness or out of their need, whether it be financial or somebody in their bed at night. But yet, when you have that true relationship with God, that type of stuff don't even cross your mind. Why? Because God, that void that she's looking for, only God can fill. So no matter how good the man is, you can't put nobody in God's place.
So let me ask you this question.
It's never gonna work.
Why does it seem like the man with the relationship with God is not what's in or what's attractive anymore? Like, I see it all the time. Like, the guy who has the relationship with God, the guy who's trying to serve God, who's trying to live right, why is he not like the standard of the ideal man in today's society?
Because our women ain't saved.
I mean, but
so let's talk about that too. Now, we have godly men going after worldly women.
Okay, I've been guilty of that.
So you can't judge a worldly woman by God's standard when she don't know or don't want to uphold it. So just like women, we chase after ungodly men, but expect them to honor us and not cheat on us. It don't work that way. Because if he does not have a relationship or a covenant with God, would you expect him to have a relationship and a covenant with you? If he can't respect and honor God, how is he going to respect and honor you? Because when he respects and honor God, God holds him accountable for how he treats you.
Okay. So, ladies, what do y'all know? What do y'all want to know about us men? Like, what's on y'all mind? What are y'all questioning when it comes to? I shouldn't have asked that question. What do y'all want to know? You start laughing.
I did. I mean,
you know what you mean? True that. Don't be coming over here co-signing with MS.P.
Facts is facts. Truth is truth.
Co-signing already. You got co-signers already. That's what I be talking about, man. No, but okay. So real talk. The man is supposed to pursue the woman. Like, that's God's order. You know what I'm saying? In the whole courtship process, he should be pursuing. However, in that time period, what would you say the woman's responsibility is in that? I mean, outside of being pursued, like, there's got to be something that is. Because if she's doing nothing, how is that man to know that she has the qualities, the things that are necessary? If she's ready, whatever the case, how is he supposed to know? If she exhibits nothing, she just sits back and is pursued.
So I would say this, and I can only speak for me. One, if I see a guy that's interested and he is godly, the first thing I'm going to do is go to God and see if I need to entertain or not entertain. Because just because he's a godly man does not mean that's the person that you're supposed to be with. Because people come in your life for all kinds of reasons. And you have to know what reason that person's in your life. Because if you're supposed to help them, lead them to Christ, and you take them in as a best friend, so you let them know all about your flaws and stuff like that. So now you just discredit your witness because they know you know you.
Y'all hear that? Say that again for the people in the back. Say that again.
So when people come into your life, it's never by accident. It's always some purpose. Whether it's a blessing, lesson.
Blessing, lesson.
It's always them two. Either way, somebody's gonna learn something. Now, if you are walking right before God and you do what he asks you to do when it comes to that person, then they're gonna learn the lesson that they need to learn. They're gonna be blessed and eventually want a better relationship with God. But let's say, for instance, I meet you and you know God, but you lukewarm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not. Mm-hmm. And like, you like me, and I know you like me. Mm-hmm. But I didn't go to God and ask, like, is this him? Mm-hmm. But so I started hanging out with you. Then we go from, you know, doing group things to me hanging out your house. Mm-hmm. And then we fall. Mm-hmm. So after that fall, anything I say to you is gonna go in one ear out the other. Cause all you're gonna see is the fall. Mm-hmm. So therefore, you're not gonna be wanting to get a better relationship with God, because I'm the one that's on fire. And you see me messing up, so you're going to think it's okay to live your life the way you living it.
So, I get that point to a certain extent.
Why do you say that?
Because part of me feels like the second that we look at it from that perspective, then we hold those that are on fire to a standard of perfection. And any fall that we see, any misstep that we see, we use that as, okay, because I saw that fall.
I'm sorry. We got a question from Facebook Live. This lady said, huh? Give a second. Hold on.
But when you start, and this is me speaking from my personal experience in the church as a youth pastor. I went to a Presbyterian church at one time. I was on a session, and it got to a point where I was held to the standard of Christ. Like, literally, the expectation was perfection. And anytime somebody saw me slip, fall in any way, it made them feel validated that, oh, okay, so I can do whatever I want to because he messed up in this area or he messed up in that area. And so we have to be careful with that, because whenever we start to look at people in that light, we put unfair, unattainable pressure on them to that any kind of fall in any way, all of a sudden now it's, okay, well, your walk isn't legit, or I'm okay to do X, Y, and Z because you fell. And this is where God's grace comes in my opinion, where it's like, my fall wasn't like a habitual fall. It's not something that I just continue to do and I have no care for God's grace. But at this time, I got weak in that moment. I did repent. This is not going to happen again. And that's the other part, because the other part that sets up is there's a lot of people that won't walk in the doors of the church and won't pursue a relationship with God because they feel like they have to be perfect in order to have that relationship with him.
No.
As opposed to, and I'm not saying you're saying that. Right. I'm saying, but we have to be careful in general whenever we start to look at anything in that manner, because somebody that does not have the wisdom that you have, that doesn't have the relationship that you have, it's easy for them to fall into those habits or those patterns of expecting that level of basically a duplicate of Christ walking next to them.
So let me give you this example. So it's okay for your pastor to do the same thing as a new babe in Christ?
No, those are two different things.
But
it's not okay to hold that pastor to a standard of perfection. We have to understand
not a standard of perfection, but he should be so far in his walk where what normally would take the babes out, it shouldn't take him out.
Okay, so then my follow-up question would be is who sets the standard on what would take the babes out versus what's okay for the pastor to slip up in?
Well, let's be honest. It's not okay for the pastor to slip up of anything.
No, I'm not saying it's okay for him. I'm saying, what is the difference? Like, what are we?
It's like this. Sin is sin. When you become a new creature in Christ, you should not be how a lot of people say you should sin less. You're not sinless. You sin less.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, you might fall, but it shouldn't be to a point where
a habitual thing.
But not even but it could be in different areas that you fall in. But at what point, when you get to that point where you feel like you're tempted, first of all, don't put yourself in position to be tempted. That takes out a lot of the temptation. Two, when you do, that's when you go to the Word. oh, if I feel like, oh my God, like I really want him, because it starts with your thoughts.
Very true.
And then you think on it so much that it becomes action. So it's not, oh, I just slipped and fell with you. No, I've been thinking about that. I've been plotting on that. And when I saw my opportunity, I took it. So there's a difference. There's a difference.
That happens in some cases. It's been times I feel where it was nothing that I thought about prior to. It literally just, in that particular moment that happened.
But you had to be in an environment for that to even take place.
Very true.
So you put yourself in a line of temptation.
So then that goes back to knowing thyself well enough to know what environments I can be in versus I can't be in.
Exactly. My one of my biggest dating rules is no houses. Mm-hmm. I will not go to his house. He will not come to my house. Now, if there's a function where it's a whole bunch of people, you're invited. But when that last person leaves, brother man, you leaving right out the door with him. Why? Because I know me. I've set up boundaries so that I won't fall. And if any man can't respect my boundaries, there's the door.
Okay.
Because if you can't respect my boundaries, that means you can't respect me. So, okay.
What's the question?
You can let them read it.
No, I want to read it. This young lady wants. This young lady on live talking about why do men become cowards when it comes to handling a real woman? For example, playing with their emotions and making them believe that they want to pursue a relationship with you, then turn around and disappear without an explanation of why.
So can I say something for a second?
Hold on.
Sure.
Could you say the name? Who the person?
It's Corrine, Miss Corrine.
Corinne Stevenson.
Corinne Stevenson.
Okay, so can I say something? Let's correct, because I don't want to give men a bad name. What she just described is a boy.
Oh, come on, girl.
So there's a difference between a man and a boy, just like it's a difference between a girl and a woman. A man knows what he wants. A boy doesn't know what he wants, so he's touching everything. It's like he treats women like toys. Why? Because he's a boy. Boys love toys. So, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna stop.
Now,
All right.
from a male perspective, there's a lot of things that go into account whenever anybody disappears. A lot of times we look at actions, right? We look at actions of a person, but we don't know the motive or mindset that goes into that action. For instance, if you walk down the street, you see two different people pull a trigger and shoot somebody in the head. One person did it because his wife was raped by that person. The other person did it just because he enjoys killing people. Without the motive, without understanding the rationale behind it, we just look at the decision on the outside and we say, okay, they both did the same thing. But if we knew that one person was protecting his wife and the other person was just doing it just because he felt like doing it, then we would look at those actions completely different, right? And biblically, as a man, you're supposed to what? Love your wife as Christ first loved the church and gave his life up for it. Which means lay your life down, protect her no matter what. So, whenever we start looking at decisions that people make, without understanding the mindset or the thought process that goes into it, it's hard to give a blanket explanation or explanation as to why people make the decisions they make. I know for me personally, I've been in that situation where I have been talking to somebody and just vanished. And that's because of the way that I grew up. I grew up internalizing how I dealt with stuff. I grew up internalizing dealing with pain, hurt of any kind. The time that I did it, I was going through I don't know if I want to put this out there. I was going through a family member getting ready to lose their life from cancer. Somebody that was very close to me. I was going through the death of two other family members. I was going through some major transitions in my personal life, and I had honestly reached a point where I did not want to wake up and be alive at all. I would wake up and be disappointed that I woke up. And nobody knew I was carrying that amount of hurt and pain going on the inside. Now, when I did that, was it fair to the person I did it to? Not at all. I will never say it was fair. But when you don't know how to deal with pain on the level that I was dealing with pain at that time, you make decisions that aren't necessarily fair and aren't necessarily okay. So, we just have to be careful when we look at decisions that people make. and we look at moves that people make without understanding what they were going through at the time, where their mindset was, how they were feeling. We never know. We look at decisions people make every day, and we don't know the backstory of what they're going through, what kind of trauma, pain they're dealing with on the inside at that time. So we have to be mindful and be careful of those situations. Now, does that mean that every time somebody does something like that, it's because something traumatic like that? Not at all. But I know in my case, the time that I did it, I was wrestling with whether or not I wanted to be alive at that time because of what all I was going through. And so, I mean, I don't know in your situation what was going on, Corinne, but I hope that gave you some insight as to what could have possibly been going on.
So did you ever go back and tell that person why you ghosted them?
I didn't get a chance to. That person, me and that person both blocked each other. I got blocked, so then I blocked them because I was being petty.
Oh.
So I didn't get a chance to. Hopefully I do get the opportunity one day, because that person was, they didn't do anything to me. They were a very special individual, and I know they're going to make an amazing wife to somebody. It was just at that time, the brokenness I was carrying. I was at a point where
you couldn't like say nothing like I'm dealing with something, like I need space.
She knew I was dealing with something, but it got to a point with me where, and I wasn't expecting it to get to the point where I literally didn't want to get out of the bed. Like, she knew, for the most part, kind of what was going on. She didn't know the toll it was taking on me. And to be honest with you, I didn't know the toll it was taking on me until I literally didn't want to talk, you know. My mom was calling me. My mom was calling me every day, upset because she couldn't get through to me. There was a lot of people at that time period that were like, Kenny, you just kind of ghosted and disappeared. But that also goes back to the way that I came up. Mm-hmm. My own insecurities and trust issues when it comes to extremely painful situations and times, I learned to internalize it and try to deal with it on my own, which is something that a lot of men deal with because from a societal perspective, we're taught that we just have to be strong and get over it. You know what I mean? And a lot of women look at men who deal with those things and get weak and get vulnerable as unattractive. And so when you are fed this as a boy, you don't cry, you don't get weak, you know what I'm saying? That's what you're fed, and then you get older and you see where women are like, he's emotional, then as a man, you adapt. So I know that it's not safe for me to show these things. It's not safe for me to talk about these things. So I deal with them on my own. That's why I see a lot of men with anger issues and not knowing how to communicate and emotional issues and all of that. So, but as far as today goes, this is a pre-show. So we really hope that you all enjoyed the topics we covered. We're going to go more in depth on all of them. This was just a sneak peek of what you can look forward to. Monday nights, 7 p.m. Y'all can't see the sign. Nope, you can't see it. Iceberg, Enterprise, online, radio. You can catch us there. I'll be going live from two of my pages, my Kenny Chosen Mac personal Facebook page and my Chosen 816 music page. Music videos, music, all of that. If you want to know any information on what's going on with Chosen, the brand, clothing that's dropping, go to my music page, Chosen 816. You get all the information there. I'll be going live from both of those places. MS.P?
I'll be going live from Precious Right, and then eventually I'll be going live from Treasure Box. You'll be hearing more about the Treasure Box. We have events that's going to be happening throughout the year and workshops for single mothers and single women. So that's what we have.
So hope you enjoyed the pre-show today. Y'all stay tuned. Starting next Monday, March 18th, 7 p.m. Iceberg Enterprise Online Radio, Kenny Chosen Mac personal Facebook page, Chosen 816 music page,
Precious Right personal page, and the Treasure Box. That's it.
Y'all enjoy y'all evening. If y'all got any questions, make sure y'all leave it in the comments below. You can individually inbox us. You can also reach out to us in the inbox of Iceberg Enterprise Online Radio. We'll get back to your questions. If you got topics you want covered, we'll make sure to get to that too. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate y'all. See y'all in a week. Peace.
Bye.